press. And with that, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of Lunch from Debates. I am your fellow co-host Dibo and my other co-host Matt.
Two-man weaving. Back to how it started.
Yes, sir. We are doing a two-man weave. Unfortunately, our other co-host Owen, he can't make it today for this episode. He is currently out with the flu, feeling very under the weather. So, with that being said, we wish her um, great regards to his health, and hopefully he can get back quickly.
Nah, man, fuck that. Fuck yourself. Nah, there's no way Owen can say that Jordan is his GOAT and then have Jordan play a flu game and he can't even do the podcast with the flu. I'm sorry, I can't respect it.
Well, first of all, Jordan's flu game, it wasn't really like a
It was
flu
like food
game.
poisoning, right?
Yeah, it was food poisoning, right? From the
Yeah.
Last Dance documentary. Uh, it was reported that he got a pizza from the hotel, ate it, had food poisoning right after. So it wasn't really a flu game; it was a food poisoning game. To clear that up.
Nah. I'm just messing.
Yeah, that's true.
But we're wishing he can get healthy and be back for the next episode.
Absolutely. We miss our boy Owen, man. He brings a great insight and
Good vibes.
good vibes, good vibrations to the podcast sometimes.
Good
Well,
vibes.
I
Good
said
vibes.
sometimes, all times. My fault for my poor words.
But since it's just the two of us, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing really well. Um, Finals week about to be wrapped up. I got an exam to do not tomorrow, next week, next Wednesday. So that's gonna be great to get that out the way. Have this next month, to myself, and hopefully start working, get some money on the side. So yeah, I can't wait.
Is Wednesday your last day on campus, or do you not gotta go back to campus?
Oh no, I don't gotta go back to campus. Yeah, it's an online exam.
Mm, not bad. Yeah, my last day on campus is Monday, and then I got an online exam that's like available on Tuesday. So after Monday, I'm pretty excited because that's the last time taking that train for a month.
Oh, the train, bro. I've been low key. I've been like slacking on taking the train this semester, especially towards the end. Man, I'm not gonna lie.
No, I know what you mean. I drove to campus both days last week. I drove to campus both days last week because I'm not. I
Yeah,
don't know.
man.
The train, and that's that.
Nah, like the RTD. Well, one is it's like time consuming, just
Yeah.
from the amount of like time it takes you to drive to the station and to be on the train, and even then, like the amount of delays that's been going on recently
Bro,
over the
yes,
months.
yes.
Are there still delays?
I don't know. I don't know. I started parking like before we would hit the delays. Um, because I remember beginning of the year, there would be like delays like in like right by DU, where it would basically be like we'd be just waiting in the train like 20 to 30 minutes at a time. And I was like, all right, this just ain't working for me. So I started parking further up to kind of avoid that. But like even with the delays, like trains are never on time. They're never on
They're,
time.
they're not. They're not, man. They're not, bro. And you had that with the delays, like we just said, man. Just like, you know, obviously taking the train to campus is a more is the
Affordable.
cheaper option
Yeah.
and affordable option than driving to school every day. But at the same time, man, you gotta be on time. Time management really matters,
Mhm.
especially when you're like getting to class. So that's why I've been taking my car up to campus more.
No, 100%. 100%. I feel you. Because, like, my first class is at 9:30. So I would have to wake up pretty early if I'm catching the train. But I can sleep in like 30 to 45 minutes more if I'm driving.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it saves you a lot of time.
Exactly.
It saves you a lot of time. But you want to get into the episode?
Yeah, let's get into it. So for today's episode, obviously we are going to hop into our news section of every episode we're doing now, and with our main segment, Matt has something special surprise for us. Yes,
Correct.
surprise. So
Correct.
we're gonna keep that secret until that comes around. So hey, it's gonna be a little bit shorter than past episodes, but hopefully it'll be a entertaining one.
Like always. Like always. Let's not put any
Absolutely,
disrespect.
absolutely. No disrespect at all. No disrespect.
So what's the first piece of news?
Right. So the first piece of news, obviously, if you haven't heard, Shohei Ohtani is heading to the Los Angeles Dodgers. The contract is ridiculous. Let me read it out. It is a 10-year deal, $700 million contract. That is insane. 70 mil a year, by far the most expensive contract in American sports history, surpassing Patrick Mahomes' contract of 450 million he got a few years back by a crap ton of money. Let's keep it real. So with that being said, my question to you, Matt, is this, right?
Yeah.
Which sport has the best money for its athletes?
Wait. Repeat the question. Which sport has the best money for its athletes?
Yeah. If you were an athlete,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah,
Um,
which sport would you be making the most money in?
Number one soccer. Number one soccer. We saw what Al Hilal was about to offer Mbappe. I think it was a billion for 1 year. We're talking about Otani getting 700 million over 10 years. They were going to give Mbappe a billion for 1 year. So definitely soccer. Just because of how much money the Saudis got. Number two probably has to be baseball at this point. Um, I just think that if you're talented in baseball, we've seen some crazy contracts over the years. Whether it's Mike Trout, um, I think Mookie Betts got a pretty big one as well from the Dodgers
He
too.
had crazy money too. Manny Machado to the
Yeah, oh, Manny
Padres
Machado,
as
yeah,
well. Lots
yeah,
of great money in baseball for that at that
at
upper
that
echelon, that top peak.
right. So probably baseball, number two. NBA probably number three because instead of having like a 64 man roster in the NFL, it's only 12, 15 people, so there's a lot. You can eat into the cap a lot more. And then probably NFL number four because we're doing the five major sports, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And then NFL or NHL five. NHL five. What about you?
Okay, that's fair. All right, so at number one, I'm gonna put basketball at the very top, off the fact that for the average athlete,
Yeah,
like a
that's
role
fair.
player,
Hmm.
the money is way more compared to an NFL role player or MLB role player and so on and so forth. Like there are role players in the NBA right now getting paid 15, yeah, 10, 15, even 20 million off of one to two great seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, look at
Grant
Gordon
Williams,
Hayward.
three like 64 for 3 years.
Man, yeah, Grant Williams has good money. Who else? Tobias Harris. He still has his
He's
max
it's like
contract.
40 mil a year.
Crazy, man. And for shooters too, Joe Harris got his bag. Doug
Duncan Robinson.
McDermott got his bag. Duncan Robinson too as well. So for the average NBA player, if you just had a couple of great seasons, solid seasons even, you're gonna get paid over $10 million with that second contract. So I would put the NBA at the very top, and then number two. If it was just MLS, I'll put it at the very bottom because some players get paid like 50K a year. That's
No,
the absolute minimum for a player.
they gotta be working like second jobs in the MLS sometimes.
That's true, bro. That's true. Like, I mean, if you're an MLS player, the average MLS player, you still got to put the LinkedIn up. You still got to make the LinkedIn. You still got to have that up. So yeah, it's not life changing money.
But
But if you're talking, yeah,
go off Europe. Go off Europe because that's what I do.
yeah, okay, yeah, I go off Europe. Okay, so for Europe, European soccer, I go number two. I mean, the most paid superstars in the world. They get really good money, especially those sponsorship deals. Though those are great coming from the worldwide, and also with obviously the Saudi league coming in, giving these guys crazy deals every transfer window. So I put hockey at. I said hockey. I put soccer at 2, and then 3 baseball,
Yeah.
MLB. Like Matt said, the superstars get crap tons of money, man. Minor leaguers, they don't get paid at all. I'm sorry, but they don't get paid. But for like the average MLB player, that they get paid a decent amount still. They get paid a decent amount. I mean, the years on a contract in the MLB, though, those are like super long, going
Yeah.
to 5, 6, 7 years even. So there's not a lot of flexibility when it comes to getting more money if you're part of of that average um, MLB player area, but I still put baseball at 3. And then for the NFL, um, I still don't know why the NFL doesn't have fully guaranteed contracts. That's one of the biggest. That's one of the biggest shams in sports. The franchise tag is the biggest
Yes.
sham in sports. That is so bad. I do not know how the NFLPA still has that intact. That franchise tags, bro, it should have been gone like years ago. It's so bad.
Bro,
It's so bad.
yeah. It literally like ruined like the running back position in all their contracts because basically they have their rookie contracts. The teams just keep picking up their options. Then once they finally are eligible for an extension, they just franchise tag them once or twice, and by that time, the running back is past their prime and they move on.
That's true. I mean, you look at the top 10 highest paid running backs, you look at that list, half of those guys are on like 1 year deals or franchise tagged. So there's not a lot of good money in that position. Really, the only good positions to get money now consistently in the NFL, one has always been the quarterback position, and then uh,
Wide receiver.
left we have wide receiver that started to come in nicely for them, left tackle too as well, and probably pass rusher. Those are the only positions to where okay you can get great money uh, by playing in the NFL. But other than that, it's not really there. And then to wrap it up at 5, the NHL. I'm gonna do the NHL
Yeah.
because bro, probably the highest paid NHL player gets like 15 million a year, and you add that with the fact, you get constant hits, you get hit consistently, damn near like football, and with the serious injuries being involved around the sport, it's just like it's not worth it to get that type of money.
Yeah, the market cap just isn't there for the NHL. I mean, I personally really like the NHL. I think an Avs game or basically any NHL game is probably the best atmosphere you can get as far as like a live sporting event goes, but they just don't have the money in it compared to all the other
No,
major sports.
right, and it sucks because um, the NHL playoffs are probably it probably has the best postseason out of all the top 5 leagues in America. So it is unfortunate because there are a lot of passionate fans when it comes to hockey. The teams they have great atmospheres when it comes to the postseason, and for these players to not get a lot of money compared to all the other major leagues, it's just unfortunate. It's really unfortunate.
No, no doubt, no doubt. You hit it on the head because, yeah, I mean, the physicality of NHL is probably of those top five that we mentioned. It is probably the second most physical. And I don't know if you saw there was a player who died on the ice like a month or two ago. Um,
Yeah, Daniel Johnson.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and so I mean, like to be playing a sport where it's life or death, and then almost to not be fully compensated for what you're going through, kind of sucks.
Bro, that man.
I don't.
Have you seen the video for it?
Yeah,
Uh,
and then
oh,
I saw like a week later, they were looking into the dude who did it for like murder or attempted murder.
yeah, I don't know what they charged him for,
I don't
but
know
yeah,
either.
he still went to trial for that. But man, that video is so it's
It's
awful,
gruesome.
so
It's gruesome.
awful. It's bad, man. But he took a blade right to the neck area. It was bad, and I don't know how in hockey they don't have neck braces for that because when you look at the blades, right, they're
Yeah,
very sharp, and there's still a possibility of someone's blade flying midair and just cutting someone around the facial and neck area. So it,
It's a dangerous sport.
it's bad, man. It's a very dangerous sport, and hockey doesn't get the same attention of being a dangerous sport like football, but it needs to be addressed more when it comes to these situations.
100%. 100%. And if you want to talk about another sport that's like dangerous and extremely physical where it has underpaid athletes, talk about like the UFC.
Oh no, UFC fighters they don't get paid shit.
They don't get
They
nowhere near
no
enough.
money.
Nowhere near enough.
Dana White, you will pay sometime. I don't know when, but you will pay for your sins because these UFC fighters do not get paid a lick of money. A lick of money.
Nah, they don't get paid enough. Jake Paul called them out on it.
Hey, good for him, man. I'm not the biggest Jake Paul fan. I'm not the biggest fan of the Paul brothers in general, but hey, shout out to him for doing that.
Do you got a favorite Paul brother though?
Um, I like Logan more. I
Nicely
feel
done.
like
Nicely done.
Logan. While I don't like him fully, really, I feel like compared to him a few years back when obviously that whole situation involving the forest on YouTube,
Yeah.
and you look at how he's matured and how he's grown as a person from that moment. It's commendable at least. Like he's at least trying uh, to improve his image to make himself be a better person. I don't see that with Jake at all. Now that man's been an asshole forever.
Real. No, I'm with you. I'd be a Team Logan, but I'm not huge on either of them. I'm Team KSI at the end of the day.
No, I mean neither. Shout out KSI, man, YouTube
Uh,
legend.
real.
Been a fan since the race to Division One days or Road to Division One. Back few years back on YouTube.
Hey, shout out to Sidemen too. Shout out to Sidemen too.
Bro, hey, man, we gotta have a convo about Simon, bro. I wasn't a fan of Too Hype or those type of people growing up. It was always Simon because back then I was like he was on FIFA.
Yeah, they were always on FIFA.
Yeah, and so I was just watching their like crossbar challenges and pack openings, FIFA forfeit challenges, all of that stuff.
Who's your favorite member in the Sidemen?
Um, well, KSI, but I was a big Bazinga fan. Oh,
Toby's not
Toby.
bad.
Yeah, he's probably my second. He's probably
Toby's
my
not
second
bad.
guy. Yeah.
Toby's not bad. Mine probably has to be Simon. Mine probably.
Um, Mini
Um,
Mixer. Yeah.
no, other Simon. No, not Simon. Oh my God, Harry.
Oh, yeah. Road to Shaw. Yeah.
Yeah. What's his? He has a great YouTube channel. I know he doesn't post anymore, like W2S or something.
Yeah. That's what I said
His
before.
pack openings were the most legendary thing back in the day.
They were, bro. They were, bro. Do you remember the thing they did where they had like the slot machine for like to open the packs, right? And if they get
No,
like three o'clock, oh
swear,
no,
swear. Bro, did you ever watch the video where he packed Team of the Season Ronaldo and he just threw the chair at his TV?
oh bro, yeah, I remember, yeah, I remember that, bro. It was funny.
No, they had
And
they
the
always
back,
they always had
yeah, and
fun.
like in the backyard challenges he did, doing like all these soccer drills with his family. Yeah, that,
Yeah,
that was sick.
yeah, yeah. They
That
had
was
they,
sick.
they had class videos.
That was sick for sure.
But back on topic. What's the next piece of news?
Right. Let's segue into our next segment. We're going to head to the NBA, and obviously, ooh,
You're good. You're good. You're good.
all right, man. I thought man was in trouble right
No,
there.
I was just closing the
I
door
thought my
from
man was
behind
in
me.
trouble. No, no, you're all good. You're all good. And right, let me continue. So with our next segment, obviously, you're going to the NBA, and tonight big night in basketball, the in-season tournament final, the Pacers versus the Lakers in Las Vegas. The young Pacers, led by Tyrese Halliburton, emerging as a young superstar in this league, versus AD and Braun, the OGs, the old guns. It's gonna be an exciting game. I can't wait.
I got Lakers. I got Lakers. First in season tournament of all time, the inaugural in season tournament. It feels so fitting for the GOAT to just be like, oh, I'm the first one. I'm the first in-season tournament winner, first in-season tournament MVP. It just seems fitting to add to his resume. The Pacers have been an extremely fun team to watch all year, especially in the in-season tournament. I mean, that game against the Celtics, they basically had a playoff crowd. Um,
That,
at
that that
the
was exciting. That was exciting. That was a great game
yeah,
to watch.
and to your point, you mentioned Halliburton. He's been looking like a young star. And then all the other guys are stepping up, whether it's Miles Turner, Obi Toppin, Buddy Hield, Benedict Mathurin. All the other guys are stepping up, and Tyrese has been the star, but they've all been able to kind of aid him and help him out where he needs it. And I think that the Pacers should be extremely happy with what they've done, but I just think the Lakers are going to be a little too much to handle.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you, man. I got the Lakers winning this one. For the Lakers, right? The narrative, it's just too good for this one. I mean, LeBron James, if he and the Lakers won it, obviously they would be the first team to win the in-season tournament, the most successful team in the NBA, winning a new tournament for the league. It's just too good. Also, the arguably the goats of the league as well, getting MVP and winning it with the most successful team in the league, and also the possibility of him getting the MVP award named after him for being the first one to win it.
Mm,
And with LeBron's past interest of owning a team in Vegas, it's just too good to pass up. It's too good.
yeah. I personally don't believe that there are script writers or that sports are rigged, but if there was a script, this is it. Like this is as script
Absolutely.
as it gets, bro.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um,
And I agree with you, Matt, on sports not being scripted, not being like, you know, I don't know what word to say, but
made of
toyed
fabricated.
with, yeah, made fabricated, made up.
Hmm.
But the story's too good. It's too good for Adam Silver and the NBA to pass up. It's too good.
No. Now here's the thing though. I've seen you in the chat. I've seen you in the chat. You think Pacers can be win a round in the playoffs? I I personally don't know if they can win a round in the playoffs. I think like the in season tournament is perfect for them, and it's because like with that offense they can go off any night of the week they can put up 150 points, and like that's not even a ridiculous statement at this point. And so there is some hesitancy to pick the Lakers just because you know that the Pacers have the number one offense, historical offense, and they're just putting up points in bunches at this point. Um, but I just think the Lakers just have a little too much size with Anthony Davis and LeBron. They D'Lo hasn't looked great in the in-season tournament, but I think if he can start to knock his shots down, Austin Reeves has looked good. Vando is back, but they said he's going to miss
Vanderbilt,
the season.
Vanderbilt, he's going to be the factor if he plays tonight.
He'll probably be on Tyrese if he plays tonight.
Yeah, with those pick and roll actions the Pacers like to do with him alongside Miles Turner and Obi Toppin, those type of bigs, them Toppin and Turner obviously being athletic and lob threats. Vando's gonna have a lot of hands full for himself heading into tonight's game.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Yeah, but Vando will probably get the Tyrese Halliburton assignment, and then I am curious to see what they'll do like in that pick and roll. Whether they'll switch with Anthony Davis and put him on, or if they'll tell Vanderbilt to go over. Um, I think that's an interesting thing to look out for. I'm interested to see what Obi Toppin's going to look like on the defensive end. I assume he's going to be on Vanderbilt, like because typically you want to give him the least big offensive threat.
Mhm.
And Vanderbilt just typically stands in the corner close to the paint. So I think that it's a happy recipe for Obi.
Yeah, I mean the Bucks, they tried switching in the semifinal game between
Mhm.
them and the Pacers, and
It
Brook
didn't look good.
Lopez on Tyrese. Tyrese was food for him. He was able to get to his spots, be able to attack the paint, attack Brook Lopez's lateral quickness or lack thereof. So I don't know if switching would be the best option for this game. I mean, AD is obviously a better defender on the perimeter than Brook Lopez, but Tyrese Halliburton is quick. He's been more aggressive as a scorer coming into the season in general. So I don't know if that would be the best strategy defensively for that Lakers team.
Yeah. It's speaking of the Bucks and their defensive scheme. Right after the game, there was a report that Bobby Portis and head coach Adrian Griffin got like chippy in the locker room, where Bobby Portis was telling him to be better and stuff. And I mean, the Bucks had a lot of expectations, a lot of high expectations coming into the season, and a lot of people were concerned about the defense. Obviously, losing a guy like Drew Holiday, the defense has not looked good at all. It has not looked
Oh,
good at all.
and no, it hasn't at all. And we expected that heading into the year, with their lack of 3-and-D guys, and with the potential of them having a backcourt of Damian Lillard and Malik Beasley, two guys that aren't defenders. I mean, Beasley has tried a lot more recently as a defender, but
Mhm,
still, he's not capable of guarding the best perimeter player. So, and we saw the defensive struggles, their inefficiencies, the other game versus Indiana. I mean, Halliburton, he obviously was cooking the entire game.
mhm.
Zero turnovers, was very efficient throughout. Um, the other Pacers players, supporting cast, they were able to hit their open shots around the perimeter, around the 3-point line. They were able to uh, beat the Pacers from that aspect. So for Milwaukee right now, man, I don't know, with their roster and how it was constructed, they're not have a lot. There's not a lot of pieces to move around to help better the team defensively. Maybe move Bobby Portis for a 3-and-D wing around the trade deadline, but other than that, I just don't see it.
Yeah, it's interesting. And like Chris Middleton had surgery like 3 years ago, and he's still on like a minutes restriction. Giannis, to his credit, has looked amazing this season. I mean, I think Giannis is probably a top three MVP candidate um, at this point. But I don't know. I feel like Dame still hasn't like looked like himself in this Milwaukee Bucks team.
No, 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 he hasn't, and I don't know if it's the chemistry between him and the rest of the team, or just him declining in age. But for the Bucks, obviously, they hope that he can be more familiar with the team moving forward. Which, when it comes to a superstar player heading into a new team, it happens. It happens before. It takes time to gel. And it takes time to adjust to the new schemes and to your new players. And obviously, with that and a first year head coach and Adrian Griffin, it's gonna take a lot of time. It's gonna take a lot of time for this team to become true contenders moving forward.
It is. It is. And I mean, at least Giannis did sign the 3 year extension. That's also part of why they traded for Dame. Yes, it was to compete right now, but it was also to lock Giannis down. Um, and so since you do have Giannis for the next 3 years, I think Dame has like 2 or 3 years left on his contract. Um, Brooke Lopez signed a 2 year extension in the offseason. It's like your core is still intact. So yes, you have a first year head coach in Adrian Griffin. Yes, it takes time to gel and build that chemistry, but everybody is tied up. So it's like if you see something that you like with this core, then you can run it back once you do have more chemistry next year. Or if there's something that you don't like, at least you have the players under contract. So it's not like you're losing them from nothing. You could just trade them for other pieces that might fit better, like a defensive guard to help out Dame or a defensive wing.
Hey
Um,
man, this might be a random name, but DeLon Wright would be a great fit for this Bucks team.
where's he
The
playing right now? Is he
Wizards.
still in Washington?
Yeah, he's still in Washington.
Hmm. We gotta have that skit one day on lunchroom debates. The who he play for. Did you
Yeah,
see
I
Stephen
mean,
A?
Stephen A. He did that.
He did he when it was ESPN and NBA on TNT, like the two studios or the two crews.
Oh, that
Uh,
must have been for the TNT broadcast.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Because I only watched the ESPN one.
Yeah, he went on the TNT. They gave him Dante Exum. He didn't know.
Mhm.
He got Otto Porter right. Got Ish Smith wrong. He got somebody else wrong. I can't remember, but he went like 1 for 5.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah. Which says a lot. Says a lot about
I mean, people don't watch Stephen A. for actual. analysis, right? We've
He's an
been doing that.
entertainer.
No offense to Stephen A. Yes, he is an entertainer and he entertains people. And the inside the NBA people, while they have a little bit of analysis here and there, their main job is to entertain. What
Mm-hmm.
Shaq, Chuck, and Kenny and Ernie, their all their jobs is to entertain the audience. So what can you do?
Yeah, yeah. Um, but I don't know. I think that's so wild. Like he is an entertainer. He's very good at his job. Let me say that. Like probably one of the best in the game at that. Um, but to have your whole job be about sports, like you got a morning talk show when you talk sports, then you got Stephen A's World where you talk sports, then you're on uh, uh, NBA ESPN where you're talking about the games and stuff that you're watching. Like it's a little wild. It's a little wild, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's very true. That is very true.
It is very
Um, yeah, I got one more question, and then
yeah,
we can move on. This could be short. So for the in-season tournament, Matt, has it been a success this first year or no?
100%, 100%. 100%. Adam Silver, the idea behind the in season tournament was one, to make the players care about the regular season more, and two, to have the fans engage more. As mentioned earlier when we were talking about that Pacers Celtics game, the fans are clearly engaged. Like that was a playoff atmosphere. The fans clearly want this. And it actually means something to the fans, and it also means something to the players. And you can kind of see that. I mean, when there's an in-season tournament game, there's typically like very few blowouts that night, if at all. I mean, I remember when it was still the group stages of the tournament, it felt like every single game was at least like a single digit loss. Like there was no blowouts at all. And I think that that's kind of a reflection of, hey, like we're trying to compete, we're trying to win this like tournament. Like sure, it might not have history behind it. Sure, everybody was clowning it in the offseason, but like the players seem to like actually care about it. The ratings are great from what everything I've read, and fan viewership is going up. So I think it's a huge success.
Hey, the ratings aren't as good as the NFL because the NFL is king. Nah,
No,
I'm
no,
sorry. Nah, bro. I mean, nah. I was trolling, but I hate that. I hate that so much on Twitter. Every
no.
time they like bring up the ratings between the NFL and the NBA, bro, just enjoy the sports, man. Just
Yeah,
enjoy the product, bro.
100%.
Why do you care about ratings so much for these leagues? You're not Roger Goodell. You're not Adam Silver. So I don't know
For
why
real.
it's a problem to you. I don't know why it affects you. I mean, you're just trying to look for likes and
Hold on.
comments and clicks.
Speaking of ratings, though, there's a double Monday night header, double header on Monday night. I don't know. Both games start at the exact same time. If we're talking about ratings, one, that's horrible, but two, for the fans, that's horrible. Like to me, Monday Night Football is kind of like it's nice because you only got to worry about one game. It's kind of exclusive and you can just lock in. But like when there's two games, it just feels like you're missing something.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I think the NFL, with what they're trying to do, they're just throwing shit on the wall and just looking at what can stick because they know that they're the most profitable league in America by far, right? They have the most ratings, they have the most revenue, they get the most money. And so with what they've been wanting to do with adding a new team to the playoffs recently and all of these schedule changes with them adding a new Black Friday game, them adding more games on Christmas and Christmas Eve. They're just experimenting. They're just trying to see what stuff they can get away with and what things that fans would be most interested in.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. But what do you think about the in-season tournament?
Yeah, I like it. I've enjoyed this year's tournament. Um, One part that I haven't liked is obviously the courts. I think that was just very
Yeah,
tacky, especially the Pacers court. I hate the Pacers court so much. It's awful. It is god awful. But and other factors too, like the standings, how that worked. I didn't really understand that the part of that. And with the wild card teams, that was very confusing. I think the
mhm,
league needs to do a better job explaining how teams can advance to the next round and how teams could get eliminated down the later stretch of the tournament moving forward. But in general, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I've never been this excited to watch November, December games before in a regular season in my life. So Adam Silver and with what the NBA higher ups have been wanting to achieve with this tournament so far, man, it's been a success.
No, 100%. But you hit it on the head with like they kind of need to clarify like how to advance and stuff. Because I remember when I was watching like a Knicks game and they were like, oh, the Knicks. We were playing the Hornets. They were like, oh, the Knicks can clinch their spot in the next or in the knockout stages of the in season tournament with a win a night. And like we didn't really play that great. I think we went like 3-2 in the group stage. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay. But it was just weird. It was kind of weird to like to just I don't know. You were like playing and you're like 500 for the most part, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, you can make it to a knockout stage." So I mean, I think they could do a better job explaining it. I think you're right on the head with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they try to make it look like soccer, like a World Cup style of tournament.
Hmm.
But even then, with what soccer and how they've been able to make those tournaments successful, is that it's easy to understand how teams can advance to the knockout rounds. And with the NBA, they haven't really got that part down yet.
Nah, they won't. They won't. I'm hoping though. I'm hoping because I assume they're gonna bring it back since it has been a huge success.
Oh,
Um,
obviously.
um, I I'm hoping like they'll kind of have like since this year was kind of like laying down the groundwork. I hope that next year is kind of like tuning it up and fine tuning it to make it perfect.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right, next piece of news.
Yeah, final one before we move on to our main segment. And we're going to stay with the NBA. Some injury news. Kyrie Irving with a foot injury last night against the Portland Trailblazers. A kind of a freak accident. Dwight Powell, one of their bigs on the Mavs, he came down and fell right on top of Kyrie's leg. That was an awkward moment. He had to be walked into the locker room. There were reports of him being carried out in a wheelchair, but those were confirmed to be fake by Jason Kidd. So that part was fake, but still he was ruled out of that game. And as of now, the amount of time that he'll be out for hasn't been confirmed yet. So my question for this news part is, with Kyrie Irving's injury, if it is long term, how does that affect the Mavericks' playoff chances?
That's a good question. That's a good question. To me, if he's out long term, I see this team as a playing team. Right now they're the 3 seed in the West, so they do have like a little bit of games in hand. But they still have an MVP candidate in Luka Doncic. They still have good 3-and-D pieces around him, whether it is a Grant Williams, a Dante Exum, who's actually looked pretty decent in that starting lineup the last couple games. Um, there, what is it? Derek Jones Jr., Josh Green. Like they have the 3-and-D pieces. I think the team is a lot better than it was last year when it was like Luka and Kyrie and then nobody else basically. But you still have guys like Derek Lively and Dwight Powell who may have injured his teammate incidentally. But I don't think it'll be like season ending. I think the worst it'll be is like he'll probably be back around All Star break, like maybe 2 months if it's like a high ankle sprain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I think that they could stay afloat till then and kind of hold it down till he comes back in that maybe like 9 to 6 seed range.
Right, and with Kyrie Irving's injury, obviously, if it's near season ending, they're not going to be a top contending team. Like that's completely out the window.
No, no,
Without a team structure, they need Luka and Kyrie to be healthy for a full season to help take them to a deep playoff run. And if you don't have either one of them moving forward long term, then that's not going to happen. So, I mean, they're still gonna be fine when it comes to making the playoffs. Obviously, they have Luka, and Luka he's been in this type of situation before when it comes to carrying a team offensively and taking the most shots, dribbling the ball most of the time in these type of games. And so I think offensively they will be fine for off of Luka alone. He's gonna find open guys and he's gonna be great as a scorer on most nights. But I think the main factor with this team is their defense. I mean, They've added more defensive pieces, like Matt said, with Grant Williams, Derrick Jones Jr. Derek Lively has been one of the best rookies so far out of his class. He's been a great big when it comes to being a defender inside and taking lobs from Luka around the paint area. And they still have Josh Green too as another 3-and-D piece on the wing. So I think the Mavs, as of right now, they will be fine. They're probably gonna slide down a few spots with this Kyrie Irving injury, but if Kyrie's healthy come playoff time, and him and Luka both have that chemistry down, and they're both contributing to winning games, they're gonna be fine.
Yeah, but um, you hit it like Luka's been phenomenal all year. Broke a record the other night for I think the quickest 25-point triple double of all time. Got it in the first half. Um, but to me, this Mavericks team is kind of like a dark horse when it came to the playoffs. If Kyrie was healthy, you have two superstars in the backcourt. You have good 3-and-D pieces around them, as you mentioned. You have probably a first or second team all rookie center and Derek Lively. Like so, they kind of have like a good core and good pieces. And you look at the other teams in the league, like the Nuggets. The Nuggets haven't looked as good since that winning streak. Like they started the year great, and they've kind of hit like a championship hangover. The Lakers kind of missed some time from their starters, and they're starting to get it into gear now. But they had quite a bit of injuries. OKC, we're expecting to be a lot better in the future with all their draft picks and progression. Same with the Timberwolves. And so you think about all those things. I mean, even the Suns have their injuries with Beal and Booker was missing time earlier. And it's like this was kind of like if I mean, obviously we don't know what will happen, but like as of right now, it looks like this might be the Mavericks' best chance this season to be that underdog, to be maybe an underdog contender. So if Kyrie is out, that obviously you can throw that out the window.
100%.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know. I like them. I like them with Kyrie. I mean, it depends who they match up with, but I think that they could win a round or two.
Yeah, for sure, most definitely.
Yeah, because Luka's shown that he can get you at least like 2 or 3 games with nothing. So now with something, he might be able to get you around.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
The most hope he's gotten with Jalen Brunson that one season,
yeah,
they went to the conference finals.
yeah,
So when you have Kyrie for a full entire season with an improved defense, then the sky's the limit when they're completely healthy.
100%, 100%. And I mean, like you know how big of a fan I am of Jalen Brunson, but I don't think I'm taking him over Kyrie. So
No, no, of course not.
you got a better backcourt at that point, and then the pieces around them are just better. I mean, like Tim Hardaway's looked really good off the bench this year. The 3-and-D pieces, as we mentioned, like sure you don't have the Dorian Finney-Smiths of the world, but I think Grant Williams can do the job close enough. I think Josh Green can do the job close enough. I think you have better center play than ever before too.
Oh, way better center play. Who was their starting center during that conference finals run? I think I want to say Maxi Kleber.
And I think it was Maxi Kleba. So wait, who did they beat? They beat the Jazz in the first round. I remember that. Who did they play in the
That
second round?
was so embarrassing for Utah. And in the second round, they beat the Suns.
It was the Suns. That was when all the memes came out of that game 7.
Everybody got
everybody,
tough on the up.
everybody acted
Everybody
tough on
got tough
the.
on the up.
No,
Yeah.
that was when I knew Jalen Brunson was going to be a star. That Jazz series when Luka was out and they still won game 1. I was like, yep.
Oh yeah, that was true.
I was like, you dropped 40. I was like, okay, that'll be my point guard.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the main segment though.
Yeah. Let's get into that.
All right. So today, the very special secret was I brought a Bleacher Report article titled Hypothetical NFL Offseason Player Movement that would create next dream pairings. The article is written by David Kenya. It was released 2 days ago. So I thought we could do a fresh reaction to it. I think there's about 6 player movements in the article. So let's get started.
Let's do it. Hey,
All
shout
right.
out Dave, man.
Shout out
You're
Dave.
doing a good work.
Hey,
Good work, my boy.
first offseason move. Ravens swing for Stephon Diggs. Obviously, with Trayvon Diggs kind of um, asking for Stephon Diggs to get out. Obviously, Stephon Diggs has elaborated on his frustrations with the Buffalo Bills playoff lapses, and it doesn't even look like they'll make the playoffs this year. So if he wants out, what would you think about Ravens swinging big for Stephon Diggs?
I mean, yeah, that would be fair. I don't know how the cap space will work out, but I mean, if you if you add Stephon Diggs to that Ravens offense, Diggs would obviously be Lamar's number one wide receiver, his best wide receiver he's had as a quarterback in his entire career by a long shot. I mean, he's had Marquise Brown, which he isn't a true number one. The seasons after that, I mean, they weren't great. And now they got Zay Jones leading them, and
Zay
even with
Flowers.
Zay Jones, I said Zay Jones, my fault. That's the Jacksonville receiver. We talking about the Ravens. Zay Flowers has been excellent as a rookie so far, but I don't think he'd be a true number one, a true superstar number one. So if they were to add Stephon Diggs to their already solid receiving core with now with Diggs, Flowers, and Mark Andrews when he's 100% healthy, that would be great. That would be a great addition for that Ravens team.
No, they might have the best offense in the league if this happens.
Yeah, by far. Well, I don't know if they would be as good as the 49ers because
49ers.
the
Yeah.
49ers, that's like the dream team of NFL of the NFL right now. Kittle, Debo, Ayuk, McCaffrey, all on one team. I mean, you can't stop that.
No, you
Not a lot of
can't.
teams can stop that
You
core.
No, for sure. This would be a good one though, because I mean, to your point, Marquise Brown was probably his biggest wide receiver one, and he had Marquise Brown looking like a future Pro Bowler. So if you compare him with an All Pro like Stephon Diggs, I think that'd be pretty exciting. Um, the next move, the next move is kind of like a two-part thing because it says Higgs replaces Diggs or Higgins, excuse me. T. Higgins replaces Diggs in Buffalo.
I wouldn't like that move to be honest.
No,
Because Buffalo, like with Diggs, with how great the connection is between him and Josh Allen, is his separation and his route running, his ability to move into open space, and his ability to be man-to-man coverage with his ability to separate. So, I mean, I do like T. Higgins as a wide receiver, but I think preferably you would have him as a number two rather than as a number one with his skill set.
I think T. Higgins could be a number one wide receiver. I think he's a
Knowing,
lower
knowing,
end. I think he's a lower end wide receiver one, but I think he could be a wide receiver one.
I don't see it.
He's
I
a
don't see it like a deep ball contestant catch receiver in today's NFL. He's not. That's not a number one option. I'm sorry, it's not.
he's got the talent though. I mean, he's had big games alongside Jamar Chase. I mean, obviously he's not getting the targets of Jamar Chase and um, Cincinnati. They just have like I mean, we talked about the 49ers and their skill positions. I mean, the Bengals have Chase, Higgins, Boyd, um, Mixon. Who's the tight end there nowadays? Um,
And with the Bengals,
yeah, it's not Hayden
I
Hurst.
think.
Hayden Hurst was there
Oh,
last year.
it's no. They signed Irv Smith. Irv
Oh
Smith
yeah,
joined in
yeah.
the offseason,
Okay.
but he's not been good this year. I think.
So we'll watch tight end, but the other skill positions have looked good.
Yeah,
I think if T Higgins could maybe get some more opportunity, he might be able to prove why he's the number one wide receiver.
I don't see it because when you look at the true elite wide receivers in today's game, they all can separate. Um, Tyreek can separate.
Sure.
Devontae Adams can separate.
Well,
Jettis can separate.
I don't think he's on that level. Like I think he's like I think he could be a better wide receiver one than like a Cortland Sutton. I know Cortland Sutton's having
But
a very good year.
Cortland Sutton is at that very low end of wide
Wide receiver
receivers. He's
one.
not
I
a
think
star wide
that's what I'm
receiver
saying.
even.
I think he's a low end
I
wide
mean,
receiver one.
no, I mean, no, but no, you're not getting what I'm saying. Like Cortland Sutton, is he really a wide receiver one right now? I don't see it.
That's
Like
fair.
as a wide receiver one, you have to be wide receiver one. To me, in my opinion, you have to be a star. Colson is not a star. He has been playing well this season. He's been having a phenomenal year when it comes to having like spectacular catches. But at the same time, he's not a true wide receiver one. T. Higgins, while he has had great games where he can put a great amount of yards, be able to get like big plays down the field. He's not a true wide receiver one off the fact that He can't separate consistently, and he's not a great route runner. Like AJ Brown can at least beat you over the top and has such great physical traits to where his lack of route running and separation, it doesn't really matter for him. So I don't see that with T. Higgins.
No, I mean I understand what you're saying. Like he definitely is a better wide receiver 2 than wide receiver 1. But like if he went to the Giants, like I think he could put up some crazy numbers if they could. I mean, assuming they have good quarterback play, or like the Patriots, assuming they could have good quarterback play. Like he would need the opportunity. He would need the opportunity to put up the numbers. But like, yes, he is a better wide receiver 2 than 1. He
Yeah.
is a better wide receiver 2 than 1. The next move, the Browns signed Danielle Hunter and pair him with Myles Garrett this upcoming offseason.
I don't know. I don't like that move. I think they need to focus on their linebacking core as well as their receiving core, especially wide receiver, because them boys cannot catch. They're one of the they're one of the worst teams when it comes to dropped balls. They're top three in that statistic. And with that receiving core, you obviously have Amari Cooper, but Amari Cooper is heading into his 30s, reaching that 30 spot. And you look at the other options, you got Elijah Moore. He was brought in as that difference maker to be an explosive weapon, but that hasn't really worked out. Cedric Tillman, he's raw. Um, who
They
else?
traded Donovan Peoples Jones. They had
I
him.
mean, even then, he was really the most productive receiver.
He wasn't.
David Njoku,
He's
tight.
cool.
He has drop problems. He got drop issues. Been that way for his entire career. So I feel like while Daniel Hunter alongside Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith, that would that would probably have the most unstoppable D line in the entire league. I just don't think pass rush, the D line is a main issue for them heading to this offseason, really.
That's fair. That's fair because the defense has looked good. The D line has been very good. Is it Darius Smith a free agent?
I'm not sure about his contract right now.
Mm, that's fair, but because what Dave writes is that he's like Myles Garrett is an absolute star, racking up 13 sacks through 12 games. However, the next highest player is Ogbo Okoronkwo at 3.5 sacks, and then Zadarius Smith has 2.5 sacks. So I mean, like, if you're trying to upgrade that position, I mean, we thought Zadarius Smith and Myles Garrett would look lethal, and they've looked good. But if you want to pair him with Danielle Hunter, like, that's probably the best tandem in the league. That might be better than Chase Young and Bosa.
Mm. He's a free agent in 2024. Darius Smith.
Okay. So then yeah, free agent. So then would you want to replace Zadarius Smith with Neil Hunter?
With how Daniel Hunter has been playing so far, he's been on an elite level.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, yeah, I would, but I'd focus more on the offense with the skill position players.
That's fair. I think that's what it's going to come down to for the Browns too, because like the defense has looked very good this year when they have been healthy. Um, trade number or move number 4, Texans make a splash and add Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. I don't think he fit the timeline.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing.
I don't think he fit the timeline. I think with the Texans right now, with this receiving class being stacked as it is, I think for their team moving forward, just get one in the first round.
Well,
Simply.
they don't got their first round pick this year. They
Oh,
traded it for Will Anderson. That Will Anderson, I think.
No, but when did they have Cleveland's first round pick?
Oh, yeah. I think you're right. I think you are right. I think Danny did mention something about that. Our Cleveland Browns correspondent.
Yeah,
I did.
they have Cleveland's first round pick,
First
and
round
they
pick.
would like right now, as of right now, they would be pick 24.
But what about like the idea of trying to win now in a sense, like
And
because
now, bro,
they're not competing, but they're 7-5 right now with CJ Stroud, and that's I mean Tank Dell obviously just went out for the year. Nico Collins looks like a good piece. But it's like if you had Mike Evans, like you could maybe like get your young quarterback and your young core that playoff experience. So it's like I think it depends one on the price tag of Mike Evans, how much the Buccaneers are looking for in a package for him. But like he might not fit the timeline, but I think he could help your young core develop.
Yeah,
Whether
but oh,
go ahead, go ahead.
oh, okay, but yeah, at the same time though, would Mike Evans spend another year with a team that's not going to contend for a title? Hypothetically, if you're Mike Evans, I'd rather go to a team like the Chiefs, see what they got going on, maybe Baltimore, see if they're calling for my name for my services. I don't think Houston would be the most ideal fit for him at this point of his career.
That's fair. That's fair. Because yeah, I don't think Houston, if they add Mike Evans, is competing for a championship. Um,
No, I don't
but
think that's that big of a needle mover. I think at this point, if you're Houston, keep building the trenches. Defensively, they have a ton of areas where they need to bring in new guys to help out on that end. And with the wide receiver core, you can bring in a more cheaper. You bring in a cheaper option in that first round with how good this receiving core, this receiving class is in 2024.
that's true. But it is also like I mean, because CJ Stroud on his rookie deal, the team is pretty young as you mentioned. So it's like they do have the cap space if they want to go out and make the move. I think the Texans probably would seek it more than Mike Evans. I think you're right. Mike Evans will probably look for a contender as he gets into his like what I think he's close to his mid 30s, and like I think he's going to be 32, 33, right?
Yeah, around
Yeah.
that.
So I mean, I could see him trying to go out with another ring, but if he wants to go to an organization where he's like, hey, I could help build the future. I mean, I think that the Texans are probably high on that list.
Yeah, I mean, if the Texans, if Houston would look for a splash play to bring in a veteran piece to help out their team, it would be on the defensive side of the ball this year.
Yeah, yeah, especially with D'Amico Ryan being the head coach. Um, the fifth move, Falcons trade for Justin Fields.
That's a no-brainer. That's the easiest. It's free money at this point. He's gonna be a Falcon next year.
You think so? Back in Georgia?
Yeah, it's too good to pass up if you're both Fields and the Atlanta Falcons. I mean,
And the Bears.
Atlanta. Oh, and the Bears too as well. So all parties involved, it would be too good of a move to pass up. I
Yeah,
mean, for Atlanta, um, they've obviously have the pieces to be a playoff team, especially in the NFC South because that's been horrible this whole entire year. We
yeah.
knew it was horrible heading into the season, so they already got the defense, got a ton of playmakers on that end. We know about the offense, their players, Bijan, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London, those three guys, along with having an already good offensive line as well. I just think with their QB position, which we already know, Ritter, he's not the guy. He's a backup in this league. He's not a starting quarterback. You
Mhm.
bring in Justin Fields, he has the potential to at least be a serviceable starting QB with a lot more upside with his rushing ability. I just think at that point it would be a great move for Atlanta, and with Chicago getting back more assets.
Yeah, yeah. I really like it for all teams. First for Chicago, I mean, you're gonna have the number one pick this year because of that Carolina Panthers first round pick. So you can kind of move to the Caleb Williams era, I think, and kind of build around him, and then you get whatever assets in the Justin Fields thing to kind of continue this youth movement. And then for the Falcons, I mean, this team, as you mentioned, they're first place in the NFC South. They look really good on the defensive end, and the offense. To your point, they have the key pieces like a Drake London, like a Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, a good O line. So if you could have a Justin Fields, Bijan Robinson backfield, I think that's pretty cool. I think you kind of be
Justin. Wait, what do you mean, Justin Fields? Fields Bijan backfield.
like imagine that as a read option, trying to defend that as a read option.
Okay. I
I,
thought you
I'm
man.
not I'm not calling him a running back. I'm not calling him a running back.
Okay,
I'm not
okay. I
calling.
was making sure. I was making sure.
Um,
Continue.
But like Justin Fields has not looked bad this year. Justin Fields does not look bad this year. I think Arthur Smith, an offensive-minded coach, he might be able to kind of unlock some of the potential in Justin Fields that so many people like him for. And so I really like this move for everybody involved, all parties involved.
If the Falcons were able to get Justin Fields heading into next season in 2024, would they be top four in the NFC?
No, no. So top three is locked, right? Can we agree? Um, Hold on.
Cowboys,
Cowboys,
Niners.
Eagles, Niners. Sorry, I was blanking.
Yeah,
Um,
no, you're all good.
Number four, I think, is either between. So they're in the running. They're in the running. It's between the Falcons, the Lions, and for me, I think the Packers. I think the Packers.
Seahawks maybe. Seahawks maybe.
I just think another year, because another year, the way I see it, Packers another year. That's another year of Jordan Love progression, versus another year with Seahawks might be another year of Geno Smith regression. So that's kind of my hesitancy there.
Right.
But I mean, if you talk about skill position, Seahawks have a ton of players that are going to progress. Whether it's Kenneth Walker, the backup Zach Charbonnet, Jackson Smith Najigba, Jake Bobo, DK Metcalf, like they got. And then you talk about the defensive end with Witherspoon and Woolen, like they got all the young pieces in all the right places.
Boy and Mafia as well. He's been great this year. Shout out
Yeah.
to him.
Um. So I mean, the Seahawks, yeah, you can have in the running. You can have in the running. Maybe my Rams can sneak into there. Um,
I don't know.
I don't think top four though. I don't think top
I don't
four.
know what the Rams are gonna do. Speaking on them, I don't know what they're gonna do moving
It
forward.
depends how we end the season.
Yeah.
It depends how we end the
Oh
season.
man.
Um,
But with that fourth spot in the NFC, I think that goes to Detroit,
yeah.
especially if they can improve their defense in this upcoming offseason. But Atlanta, they might be a dark horse contender.
No,
If,
for sure.
if Fields can progress into a solid starting quarterback, and with the pieces they already have on their roster right now, so
No, for sure. Yeah. Because yeah, they got a very good defense as is, and they got like a lot of offensive weapons that are just waiting to be unlocked. Um, and then the last and final move involves your team, Debo. It says L'Jarius Sneed signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It says not only will the Kansas City Chiefs be thin on cap space once an extension for Chris Jones is hammered out, the current front office typically hasn't spent lots of money on cornerbacks. So they think L'Jarius
that
Sneed
is true.
is going to be a free agent, and they think the Steelers are probably going to be making the moves to get him. Because that is a position.
Yeah, yeah, but for the Steelers, first of all, I think that'd be a great addition with adding L'Jarius Sneed to their corner room. I think a big position of need for that team has been getting another corner alongside Joey Porter Jr.,
He's
which, by
been
the
great.
way, he's been phenomenal. He should have been in the first round. I don't know why Emmanuel Forbes, no offense to him, he got picked in the first round over him, but I digress. Just them adding another corner, a solid corner that can match up well in man coverage. I think that'd be great for their team moving forward. But for us, our perspective, if I was in a position as a GM, I'll resign Jerry Sneed. But obviously, Veach and his philosophy over the years, he doesn't sign corners. He didn't do that with Tavarius Ward,
Yep.
and he moved to the
49.
49ers as well.
Yeah.
So I believe he was still the GM when Marcus Peters got traded in the offseason to the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, so I'm not gonna, say that
Yep.
as part of my reasoning. But yeah, I just think that realistically, we're gonna move away from L'Jarius Sneed and try to get another cornerback in that room in this draft class. Maybe get a veteran piece on the cheaper end, like a Bashad Breeland, who we signed a few years back. He was crucial for us during that first Super Bowl win back in 2020. Um, I don't think Chris Jones will be re-signed. I disagree with my boy right there.
Mm.
Us resigning him. I just think that at this point he asked for around 300 million, even excess of 300 million. I just don't think his production this year warrants a big contract extension like that. So I think we'll walk away from Chris Jones this year.
You think he gets franchise tagged? Or you think he signs like another 1 year deal or what? Or you think he's just going to be on a new team?
I think he's done. I think he's gone
Where do you
at
think
this
he's going to
point.
go?
Jeez. Yeah, look. Yeah, look into the Chris. I mean,
Where did he go to college?
Mississippi State.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna say like maybe you could go back home, but never mind.
Um, not no, because you gotta look into the money he's gonna ask for, which with his name and his production over the years, he's gonna ask for a lot of money, regardless if we resign him or not. You gotta add that in, you gotta add that factor into this decision.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, I did just get an alert on my phone, and it says, um, Kyrie avoids major foot injury. Irving has bruise on foot after being landed on, and not a more serious injury.
Oh, bets. Okay, so they're gonna be fine. Did they say a timetable?
They did not say a timetable. They did
Okay,
not say a timetable. But
okay,
if it's just a bruise, then I'm thinking couple weeks.
okay. I can see the Commanders. Eh,
But they already got a good
they
D line
signed.
with
No, no,
Jonathan
no, no,
Allen
no, no, no. Yeah, they did sign Jonathan Allen
and their own pain.
and
Um,
Deron Payne. My fault. My fault. He went
Lions
to
maybe.
the end. That could possibly fit.
Lions.
They need. I mean, they do got a little
Seattle.
deal.
No, I don't think Seattle has the money though.
They don't think they no they don't. I don't think so.
If we were talking about Mike Evans for the Texans, I mean, Chris Jones might be a better fit for what they need.
Forget. Um, Will Anderson on that D line, he has shown bursts, shown
Hmm.
flashes of being great.
Hmm.
They
Imagine he goes to the Chargers.
nah, that's not happening. Their bigger issue right now for that Texans team is their secondary.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's a bigger issue because they can get thrown on a lot.
Yeah.
Stingley has been great. I like Jalen Petrie. Jimmy Ward has been solid, but they need more corner help. They need more
Mhm.
corner help in that position.
Um,
Oh,
Nah. I was gonna say Bengals, but I think Bengals are a similar situation where I think they need
Chicago,
more help in the secondary. Chicago,
Chicago maybe.
Chicago. Do they got any money left, or did they spend it all last off season?
I think they still got money. I believe
Pair him with Montez Sweat on that D line.
that would be nasty.
Pair him with
That
Montez
would be
Sweat.
nasty.
Um,
That would be nasty.
the Dolphins. I don't think the
Not the
Dolphins.
Dolphins. No, the Dolphins are good.
Um, I'm trying to think what other teams. The Packers already got Frank Clark. I don't think they need him.
Is
Um,
that Frank Clark
Not Frank
or
Clark. Kenny Clark.
Kenny Clark? Yeah, Kenny Clark.
And Preston Smith. And um,
Oh,
and
Rashawn Gary too.
Gary.
He's
Yeah.
nice. He's nice. He's great.
The Vikings.
Yeah,
I don't know what the Vikings are trying to do. The Vikings are another team. Like, are you really trying to compete? Do you really think you have a championship roster?
I don't know. I don't know because obviously they're gonna compete for that for those last wild card spots
Yeah.
moving down into as season goes.
Yeah.
But long term, I don't know about Kirk with his Achilles injury. Are they gonna resign him or not? I'm not sure.
Hmm.
To me, I think if Penix is on the board when during this upcoming draft because they are in the mid to late tens around that
Hmm.
area.
Hmm.
I think if Penix is still there, I think they should look into getting him and him being able to get molded with that kind of Kevin O'Connell scheme. alongside having Jettis and Hawkinson there as his options. I think that'd be a good fit for him.
Don't forget Jordan Addison. Don't forget
Oh,
Jordan
Jordan
Addison.
Addison too. Jordan Addison
Um,
too.
yeah, yeah,
Hopefully they can get a new running back
yeah.
off season.
Desperately need a new running back.
Yeah.
Um, no, yeah, I'd like to see them kind of go towards a younger quarterback because, as you mentioned, like Kirk tore his Achilles. We'll see what he comes back and how he plays, but like even if he comes back and looks good, he probably has 2 3 years max left in the tank. So
Mm.
maybe looking that way. I was thinking, I don't know if they have the cap space, but Baltimore would be a good fit too. Um,
For who?
Chris Jones, because they got Jadavian Clowney, who's just looked insane this year. Jadavian's gonna want a payday after this year too, because he's been doing this thing where he always signs a 1 year deal and hopes he has like a great season like this year. And this is the first season he's really had that.
Yeah, I
Um,
think they're gonna resign Clowney. He's been having a phenomenal year so
yeah.
far.
And then who's the other guy? I forgot his first name, but it's like Owen is his last name on the
Owen,
D line for the Ravens.
Odafe Owe.
Owen, thank you. Yeah, I'm a big fan of his.
Yeah, so they're good on the with the D ends. They're good on that end for the time being. Their D tackles they need a little bit more improvement.
Uh,
But I don't know if Chris Jones can. I don't know if they have the cap space to sign Chris Jones.
the Bills maybe if they want to run it back. But I mean they also signed Vaughn to a huge contract.
Yeah, that Von Miller's contract is easily the worst contract in football right now. It is easily the
Ooh,
worst contract.
ooh. Last year,
Bro,
everybody was saying that.
the man has been a complete liability for them this season. He hasn't done anything, has been able to produce at all. And you had that with the fact that with the new domestic violence case going on
Oh
and
yeah,
that's revolving around him, his contract is pretty up there with being among the worst. I have to say.
no, that's fair. That's fair. It probably is. It probably is one of the worst, if we're being real. Um, I was just trying to think about who else could be in that category. Probably Derek Carr is worse, actually.
Their course horrible.
Yeah, bro. I don't know why. Like Derek Carr, they're still trying to have him play this weekend, even though he has the concussion. Like, just let Jameis play,
Bro, didn't you say the Saints gonna win 10 games
bro. I
with
had
Derek
them
Carr?
winning 12, more than
12
that.
games.
12,
Jesus
bro.
Christ.
Bro, I
Good
was right.
Lord.
I was right that the NFC South would be trash. I was just
Bro, everybody was right. We knew it was gonna be horrible.
yeah. I just thought that they would be like
Ready for that?
good enough to beat the other teams in that division, but clearly not.
No, no, and
Yeah.
I told you during the preview that preview episode that I've seen Derek Carr long enough in my division over this past decade to tell you and other people watching this that Derek Carr is not a guy that can elevate a team to winning a Super Bowl, and
Oh,
so far he's proven me right.
I didn't think that they were gonna win a Super Bowl.
Oh no, well at least make a deep playoff run
No, I thought
for
they were first round
contenders.
exits. I just thought that because I had the Panthers last. I got that right. Panthers last in the division. Um, I thought that the Buccaneers wouldn't be great with Baker, and then I thought that the Falcons would be like, and I thought that the Saints would have a really good defense, which they have not. The defense, Cam Jordan has fallen off quite a bit. Nobody really wants to talk about that. Um, Lattimore still looks good. Demario Davis still looks good, but the defense hasn't really been the same. Um, I'm blanking on the head coach's name.
Dennis
Um,
Allen.
Dennis Allen, one of the worst head coaches in the league. I should have seen that. I should have seen that. But I just thought that they'd be good enough, like with the other pieces, to at least beat the teams in their division. And clearly, they have not been good enough to do that, as they have a record of 5-7. As they have a record of 5-7.
I
But
don't know.
6-6 leads the division.
Yeah. The Saints aren't. They not winning. They're not getting the NFC South this year.
No, they're
That's
not.
a fact.
They're not.
Uh,
Unless they let Taysom Hill play quarterback. But hopefully not, because you'll play him at tight end if he's starting at quarterback and win the fantasy football league.
I'm gonna win it regardless.
No, don't be childish. You're about to lose this week.
I might
Damn,
tank.
no comment.
I might tank this week, depending on how it's gonna go.
Bro, I was thinking about doing the same thing. But it's so risky because like I don't know who's gonna be where. Also, the fact that the number one seed doesn't have a bye is retarded.
Oh, hey, come on, yo, hey.
And I don't want to use that word. I'm sorry. I apologize. But it's very idiotic that we do not have a bye for the one seed. Because like
Uh,
what's the point of being the one seed then? Anybody can beat anybody in this league for in 1 week.
that's true.
Like,
That's true.
anybody can beat anybody. Especially bro. I beat Alex earlier this season basically without a quarterback in. Like that happened. Alex's team is not bad anymore. Alex's team is
Eh, it's all right.
it's capable. He put up like 170 the other week. Like that's what I'm saying. Like any given week you could lose. That's why like having if there's an incentive to be the one seed and get a bye so that you just have like a playoff berth clinched in the next round, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. I think I'm actually allowed to say that now that I don't have the one seed on lock. Because when I tried saying it earlier in the year when I had one seed on lock, nobody cared.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. But that's the article, man.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Fields. I mean, it's how do you put up 170?
Bro, what do you think about? I have ETN coming off the bench this week.
Off the bench. Who you starting him for?
I started Saquon and Josh Jacobs at my two running backs, and then at my flex I got Olave, and I was gonna have um ETN, but I think I'm gonna go with Jake Ferguson this week.
Okay.
Jake
Well,
Ferguson,
you starting? You starting Hawkinson?
huh?
Oh no, you starting? You starting two tight ends?
Two tight ends. I know that's the first time in my fantasy football career I'm doing so.
Damn.
But I think it actually might work. And then of course Kirk had to get hurt. Of course Kirk had to get hurt.
Shit.
Um, you like that Keontae Mitchell pickup?
Bro, Keenan Mitchell, bro, I didn't think he was on waivers.
Bro, Corbin just dropped him. I was like, no
Bro,
way.
this man Corbin don't understand it's a dynasty league.
Bro, I'm saying I got
Bro,
some good
that
dynasty
Bijan
players.
trade, bro, that Bijan trade was horrible, bro. That
What
was
did
the
he get in
worst
return?
trade in NFL fantasy history. Let me look it up.
Yeah. Hey, that Sam Laporta trade might go down as the worst trade.
Oh
That's
no, I fleeced Alex there. I fleeced him. Who
hey, everybody's been quiet about that Devonta Smith trade though.
good for good reason. Okay, so I
He's
looked
been
up
going
this.
off.
I looked up the trade. I got the trade. I got the trade. Okay, so with this trade, Mason received Bijan Robinson. Corbin received Keenan Allen, Darren Waller, James Conner, and a 2025 second round pick.
Oh my god.
Shit is
Not even
horrible.
a first.
That shit is horrible.
That's a horrible trade. That's a horrible trade.
That is bad. That is generationally bad. That is GM malpractice right there.
Yeah.
That's the shit that gets GMs fired in real life.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, that's a bad trade. Because what Darren Waller hasn't really done anything this year. Allen's been nice. Allen's been nice, but if you're not a competing team, there's really no reason to have him. And Corbin's far from competing.
Nah,
Corbin's closer to the toilet bowl than he is the fantasy bowl or the Super
bro,
Bowl.
this team's bad. Bro, I hope we actually do the I hope we do the forfeits this year compared to last year. That would be fun, especially
Dude,
the hot wings challenge.
I'm excited to see what it's gonna be, because we get to choose one of them, and then they obviously choose the other. Um, and ninth place has to do the Blazing Challenge,
Mm-hmm.
which is like just torture.
Bro, I looked up the rules for that. You gotta do it with no milk.
Yeah, or I think you can have water though, right?
No, you can't have anything. You gotta
Is
you
it
gotta
so
raw dog the
liquid?
wings.
It's 12 wings in 6 minutes, right? Or am I tripping? Or is it other way around?
I I think it's 10 in 10. I'm not
10
sure.
minutes. But not bad. Not bad. Um,
Yeah,
Sadegi's team is fraud. Sadegi also still has Isaiah Pacheco in the
I'm
starting
not
lineup.
worried about. I'm not worried about his team. It's Ryan's team.
Nah. I think that this is a four-man race at the moment. I think it's us two, Tyler, which Tyler's team, I think Tyler's team is pretty fraud. And then Danny. Danny seems very slept on, in my opinion.
But what about my team?
Your team is very slept on too. I can't lie, you did some work. You might have gone ham on the rebuild. Because you got Laporta and Williams for basically nothing. Plus
Yeah.
CJ Stroud.
hmm But my team's the perfect balance between win now and building for the future.
Yeah. I saw you I did see you pick up Parker Washington.
Yeah, he's a filler type of player. We're gonna see how he performs
Um
moving forward.
Yeah. Dude, the problem with me, my team is like so talented, but I have no RB consistency. No RB, like Josh Jacobs will go off one week, will have 8 points the next. Same with Saquon, same with ETN. Um, there's just no consistency anymore. DeAndre Swift went from being like the best running back to barely getting touches.
Yeah,
Kenneth Gainwell's get having more of the snap share. It's so
that's true.
frustrating.
It's true. Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
And we'll see. We'll see. The playoffs are gonna be fun this year. I can't wait. I'm so glad my team's good. Good, man. It's been a long time coming. I should have been in these playoffs in these scenarios years back, but it's gonna be different. I've been told it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different for this year.
Yeah, but how different? Like, what are you thinking? Like first or
We winning the
second round
chip.
exit?
We winning the chip. We winning the chip.
Come on,
Stand
Debo.
by that.
Come
We
on,
winning the
Debo.
chip.
This like
We're winning the
CP3
chip.
saying he gonna win a chip.
We're winning the chip. We're winning the chip this year.
This is like CP3 saying he gonna win the
We're
chip.
winning the chip. We're winning the chip. That's all I gotta say. But and we gotta wrap it up though.
Yeah.
We pretty much said. We pretty much said. Shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we couldn't have any trivia for today's episode. Hopefully, we can do that later down the line. Have that set soon, but fun episode regardless.
Nah, enjoyable episode. Enjoyable episode. Um, always fun a two-man weave back to how it started, but we'll see if Owen will be healthy and out of health and safety protocols for the next episode.
Yeah, absolutely for sure.
Hey, but good luck on them finals, Debo.
Yeah. Hey, you as well, man.
Oh,
Everybody
appreciate
needs it. Everybody needs
it.
it.
Everybody needs it. Well said.
Yeah, for real.
Well said.
All right. If you guys still watching this video, thank y'all so much for the love and support. We appreciate that a lot. Follow us on our social media pages on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, all with the handle at Lunchroom Debates. We post there daily as much as we can. And yeah, man. Anything you guys say, man?
Hey, if you made it this far, comment in the comment section. Matt will win fantasy football. And leave it there. That's how I know you're a real one, and that's how I know you know ball.
Don't do that.
Simple, bro. Simple.
Nah, don't do that.
Simple.
Nah.
I'm gonna check the comment section too. I'll be there today. We're recording this December 9th. It's 3:55 right now. I'll check on December 11th, 3:55. If somebody commented it, I'll be there liking it.
Hopefully that doesn't happen.
If it don't happen, then I'll be there in the comment section
Hey man,
saying the
it's not
same
gonna
thing.
happen. Whatever.
All right.
Yeah, we got head out, man. Peace.
Peace.